But for some people, loneliness is not, it's not that easy to overcome. It's not that easy to overcome. Some people need medical attention, and I get that. And, you know, I'm going to speak to the aging population, the elderly population. You know, I've dealt with a lot of elderly people and aging people, just with the work I've done in you know, nursing facilities and things like that, nursing homes, dealing with the elderly population. And I can tell you, man, there's a lot of loneliness with the aging population, a lot of loneliness, you know. So I saw a show last night. With Scarface. Scarface is a legendary rapper out of Houston, Texas, if you don't know. He did a little show interview last night on Club Shay Shay. And he kind of touched on loneliness a little bit, and it kind of got a little emotional because he talked about the fact that as you get older, and Scarface right now is 54, and I'm 56. He talked about as you get older, you know, people really close to you start kind of dying off, you know. It's almost like the man above says, okay, you're next. Okay, you're next. And Face was talking about how it plays on you. That wreaks havoc on you, you know. You start losing those people that are close to you, those people that really understand and know you. There's a lot of loneliness. You know, he talked about how sad it is when everybody dies around you and you're like the only one left. You talk about some serious loneliness, man. I saw a documentary of an older person living in an apartment by herself in New York. I think she lived to be, man, I think like 94 years old or something like that. And everybody will say, well, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. My goodness. You know, that's a blessing to live to be 94. But in her mind, it wasn't always a blessing in her mind. You know, don't get me wrong. It's good to live a long life. But the point she was making is that the longer life you live, the more people around you see fall off and die. You know, the more that loneliness kind of creeps in on you because as you get older, the things you know kind of go to the wayside. The people you know, they're gone. You know, they're distant. The memories you have is the only thing you have to hold on to. And so that causes a lot of loneliness as well. Studies have also shown that obviously people that are married are a lot less lonelier than people that are single. You know, there's obvious reasons for that. You know, everybody wants to have a partner. They want to be in a relationship, but unfortunately, some people either can't, don't know how. You know, it's just not their time in life right now to be in that relationship. But nevertheless, it can be lonely. It can be lonely. You know, I've seen people in very dark places, lonely, very dark places, you know, almost where it turns into where the mind starts playing tricks on them, you know. And when I say start playing tricks on you, I'm trying to evade the word, but it's suicide. It's suicide. You know, people can get so lonely where they feel like, why even stay here? Hell, I don't know nobody. I don't have friends, family. It's just me, isolated. You know, why even stay in this world? And you'll find some people that take the unfortunate measure of taking their own lives because they're so lonely. So loneliness is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's something I think we should take seriously. If you know of a family member or a friend or someone like that you haven't talked to in a while, or they all of a sudden start seeming isolated, reach out to them. Reach out to them. Just check on them. You know, even if it's a text message, an email, just check on them. Check on your folks. Check on your people. Check on the people that you love. Check on the people that you care about, because loneliness is a real thing. There are a lot of people right now, look at this video, that are lonely as hell. I'm telling you, I know it. And my thing to you is that it doesn't have to be that way. You don't always have to be lonely. Google it, you know, research, find out things that you can do to keep your mind away from being lonely. You know, incorporate more activities into your life. You know, go to the gym, take walks, you know, volunteer, volunteer at a homeless shelter. I can tell you right now, one time I was in Utah and I was going through some bad things, man, loneliness and all that stuff, man. And I tell you, long story short, what ended up really, the light bulb moment for me was when I volunteered to feed the homeless at a homeless shelter. And I just went down there, you know, because somebody asked me to. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I go down there. Keep in mind, I'm lonely. I'm in this dark place, and I go to this homeless shelter, and I start feeding the homeless people. And I'm starting to see these people come through the line. And oh and behold, I saw a lady come through the line with a baby stroller with a baby in it. And that just tore me up. And my loneliness just went the hell away. And I was like, you know, I'm sitting here, you know, worried about my loneliness, and these people here worried about their next meal. And I'm not saying that it's wrong to be lonely. I'm not saying it's wrong to have something wrong. But what I'm saying, sometimes there are things in life that are bigger than just your issues. And so, but sometimes you got to get outside of yourself to see it. That's why I say the one biggest advice I give anybody is to just move around if you're lonely. Move around. Hell, if you need to change friends, change family, do whatever you need to do. You know, hell, get some new friends, get some new family members, whatever. But you know, there's always a way to get around the loneliness. Now, there's a small percentage of people. No matter what you do, they're gonna be lonely. That's just who they are. They're just who they are. Oftentimes they're introverts. Oftentimes they're people that they've gone through some things, whether it be trauma or, you know, some other thing that has wreaked havoc on their minds. And prime example of that is veterans who have been to war, been to combat, or just been through stuff in the military. You know, oftentimes veterans like to isolate themselves, stay away from folks because they don't think people can understand what they've either seen, what they've been through, or they don't understand the life of being in the military. And so a lot of veterans just tend to just stay to themselves, man, stay to themselves. And that's why veterans have such a great relationship with other veterans, because we understand and we get it with each other. And that's just the way it is. But yeah, man, I'm going to end this, and I just want to say, if you're lonely out there, it doesn't have to be that way. I feel for you. Don't think that you're the only one that's lonely. About 30% of the entire population of the U.S. experiences loneliness. 30%. There's about, 340 million people in the U.S.? That's a lot of people. You're talking about upwards of damn near 50 million people, man, suffering from loneliness. So don't think it's just you. You're human. It's okay for something to be wrong. It's okay for everything not to go right. And it's okay for sometimes to have dark days. That's okay. As long as you have more light days than you have dark. Y'all take care. This is Eric Brown, and I think I'm going to finish my little walk here. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.